Good morning, babes. Yes, I sit on my bed because I'm really struggling with good lighting, and bear with me, I know I'm shaking this camera a lot, so I'm sorry about that. But I really wanted to discuss some Dior eyeshadows with you today, especially because this year's Cannage collection has largely sold out, especially the what was it, Mauve Moiré? I don't know. The pink one was the first one to sell out, and this is, I think, also another one that's almost gone. I hope you get a good enough idea of the undertones and shades here. I did not plan to pick this up. I tried to be reasonable, even though I really, really love this one. The blue velvet. I have shorts and videos showing swatching using this one. Yeah, I'm really working on a different minimizing, not minimalist, but minimizing approach to my makeup collection. So I figured even though sparkly shades are so beautiful on the eyes, for quite a bit now, as I've already discussed with you, I'm a bit over it, and I prefer a bit more subtle finishes on my eyes. So half of this one is very sparkly and glam, and so naturally something like this with normal satins, mattes and semi-metallics is a bit more up my alley. However, I really thought that these pigeon blues, these stormy mid-tone blues, were more similar, and they're not. I only I think I have to link her channel in the description box, but only through her video I realized that this one actually had a bit of a golden shift. It's super subtle. It's nothing that will turn up golden on your eyes, not at all. It's a type of golden shift that just very subtly pushes this blue into a more neutral direction. If you would add a pigment to neutralize it, to take away some red, to take away any purple leaning undertone, you might do this with a yellow or with a green in it. And so this golden shift does this, and we've seen something similar where the Nuit Astrale in the Chanel holiday collection. I was so excited to see this blue, and then in some videos it almost appeared like a green because of the golden shift, of the golden sparkle. It's such a special and unique shade, and that's hard to describe. It keeps that icy shift of the blue undertone. I'm not sure if I want to swatch it right now. Can you see that? So it has a icy blue shift and has this cool golden sparkle, that isn't warm or anything. It's a very special shade. And so this was the first time I saw this way of mixing a blue base with a golden shimmer to to create an illusion of a different shade, or to play with this actual base color. And maybe Dior was inspired by this, but they really made it their own. As you can see, these do not compare at all. The Dior one is I would call it a velvet satin. It has this very fine, elegant, soft shimmer that is basically gold, but it doesn't really translate as any gold on your eyes. And because of their finish, because of the way this is a proper, high shine sparkle here, you get a very different look. When I shift them, they actually look similar in the tone of blue they have here. That's fascinating. It really is. But these are completely different animals. So you cannot compare these at all. And what I really love about the Midnight Lamé is, can we see this a bit better here? What I really love about the Midnight Lamé is really this shade. This is such a unique and beautiful shade in this palette. Truth be told, there really wasn't any need for the other colors. You see, I have this super dark type of shade in here. I also have a very similar shade of almost charcoal midnight blue in Elf has a 4-pan that is called Açai You, that has a similar very dark matte here that barely translates as a blue on the eyes. We have here the Denim Dimension by Charlotte Tilbury. This one is also so deep. It does have more blue to it than these two, which still hardly translates when you use it as a liner. So these are beautiful liner shades that are complementary to these blue tones while being very very neutral actually. And so of course this was another one that held me back from purchasing this and thinking there's really no need for that. I mean, look at these shades. That's actually these almost royal blues and sparkly shades. I hardly touch these. So this one is very similar to this. Very similar. Maybe you're interested in it, so let me show you here. The shade itself is so comparable. The finish is much finer in the Dior. Can you see here? They're almost the same. Let's put it here. So this is the Tilbury and this is the Dior. So you do have the wet sparkle in the Charlotte Tilbury, and you just have a little bit of that in the Dior. Both are very beautiful. And actually the Tilbury translates much more transparent, focusing on the wet sparkle, while the Dior has it does have a very subtle and almost transparent as well base, but there's a bit more here. So yes, this is very similar to this one. And Also, this shade here substitutes for something like this, or I cannot say it's similar enough to this one. I really cannot, because this is so beautiful and subtle and neutral on the eyes. And even though this looks very neutral in the pan as well, it does translate. It is a shimmer in comparison. It's not a satin. It is a shimmer. It has more reflective properties to it. And it's still much more blue on the eyes. It's really, I'm wearing blue eyeshadow today, while this is playing with a shift between almost a gray and a blue, while it's still a blue. There are many mattes that are in between these grays and blues, and they do not retain as much blue as this one, so there's still a great difference between this and now I really do not want to push you and tell you you need this, but this particular shade of pigeon blue, you know, this one actually has a lot of red in it and leans very leans a little bit purple almost on the eyes, but you know, I personally love this shade so much. So if you are like me and this is a specific shade that really speaks to you, then it might be worth it to get the Midnight Lamé. If you are indifferent about this type of shade and you do have something like this or like this does not compare. I wouldn't say so. Then, you know, you probably would not be wowed by the differences between palettes like these. Okay, that's something I wanted to share with you before the Midnight Lamé is really gone. And now let's touch on the recent summer collection, namely the Summer Azure. So I was not excited at all actually when this launched. I actually could not have been less excited about this. I mean, in general, when there is something teal, it's not a shade that speaks to me or that traditionally would suit me and complement my features. And then with time, I don't remember right now what the shift exactly was. Yeah, I think it was specifically my love for yellows, yellow blush, yellow eyeshadow, yellow lip products that made me pay attention again, because there are swatching videos and pictures of this palette where this gold up here looks much more yellow, like a yellow satin shade, and I was really disappointed to see in person that it really just is a lighter gold. No, it's not, it's really not a yellow satin, unfortunately. So I was greatly disappointed when I opened it up. I will tell you this, I think it is a beautiful palette. Sadly, in Dior tradition, it has a Dutch shade, which is this one. And I was able to see that right away. I looked at the pan and it was clear it was this dreadful type of iridescent shade that just barely has any impact. We've seen that one in the marshmallow, is it marshmallow palette? I think it is. Mint Bubblegum was its name. So that's the spring collection. And all three here are this very odd new, well, not new. Dior for quite some time has been doing these iridescents. But you know, there is a gradient, and they really messed up specifically these two, as well as this one, because you know, we also have a, here they call it a satin pearl. I call them iridescents. This one up here in the Smoky Essentials, this is such a beautiful palette. And this iridescent shade up here is very potent and beautiful. And it, you know, oddly enough, this one has a very strong apricot shift to it, while disappointingly the apricot shade in here has a completely pink shift to it. That was the greatest disappointment here. And these two, as well as this one, are so poorly pigmented. I mean, if you're my skin tone, then this shade barely does anything. Now I try to understand this and felt, okay, maybe this is, oh, by the way, I was hoping that this would be a nice peachy way to softly deepening up the crease, but it doesn't do anything here. So you either have to be super fair for it to do something in the crease, or maybe this would be somewhat a brightening peachy coral shade for medium and darker undertones, but it still would not change the fact that this is such a thin formula, such a disappointingly thin little thing. Can you see that? So we have this shift, and something else I must add, these random micro glitters in here are just not very beautiful. I mean, I think the beauty in Dior Quins is how soft and subtle they are. But by all means, then please stick with that aesthetic. We don't want some random micro glitters in here. This one is also with micro glitter, but finer ones, and evenly distributed throughout this shade. So it goes on even, and you know, this very fine. It's not sparkle. It's micro glitter. Maybe nano glitter in comparison to this one. So if you give us these soft, elegant shades, then don't put any micro glitter in them. I don't think it matches up too well. So it's hard here in the sunlight to check on screen if it translates nicely for you to see in the picture. So yeah, maybe on medium and deeper skin tones, this makes a very subtle shimmer. On a light complexion like mine, it truly is a dud, and as you can see, it does not do enough to deepen up the crease. I was actually expecting to be also a bit disappointed in this center shade. It's now let me also reason it. I thought from reviews that this had more purple, and I don't want that. I don't want too much of that festival mood on my eyelids, this purple shift blue game. I mean, Dior has been doing these blues for quite some time. I mean, blues shifting to purple. It's been in the sugarcane highlighter, you know, from the spring collection. It's been really 2 or 3 years that we constantly see a blue sparkle or shimmer shifting purple from Dior. It's all over the place. I was pleasantly surprised that this one is much more blue. Oh, and by the way, I can really do without the oversprays, because one thing is, if I like it, I don't want to waste that gold to it. And at the same time, you know, I'm trying to, it's not about the way that it looks in the pan. I don't care about that. But if you put that overspray in there, I really struck to use these spots because I kind of want to save it up for when I want this type of gold on my eyes. I also have a Chantecaille blush that I still haven't used because I kind of want to make use of the overspray. Maybe that's, well, that certainly is over the top. Oh, here we are. That's the blue, and it's much more blue than I expected. I thought this was, once again, very purple heavy, but you know, it really is a blue sparkle here. I don't know if this translates. Now I have quite a number of similar shades in my collection. When I swatch this one against other Dior shades, this seems to be only blue. And you know, the sparkles are blue and maybe some aqua sparkle. So these are blue and aqua sparkled tones. Right now I don't see any purple shift in here, which here we have purple and pink sparkles throughout. Also in the highlighting palette with the blue highlighter, with the blue glitter highlighter, there is more purple shift. So this really remains, also with application on your eyes, it does retain that blue to it. So that was a very nice surprise here. This shade is, you know, it's maybe it is not perfectly chosen, but I would consider, or I would call these types of shades UV shades. They have this it's so hard to explain. They have this, first of all, it's a satin. There is no, I think I'm mixing up the glitter of the blue in here right now. It is a beautiful satin. Oh, and another thing I want to add is this Midnight Lamé shade. This one is quite blurring in comparison to some regular shimmer as this one. This, when I put this on, I'm not thinking, oh my gosh, this is enhancing texture, I look terrible. That's not the case at all. But I'm wearing this one and this side by side, as I tried this morning, to, you know, to be able to tell you exactly what I think. This velvet satin finish really has some blurring, blurring properties to it. And, you know, this is just a regular shimmer shade. So, and this satin here also has this very velvety finish to it that is quite nice on the eyes, I will say. Can you tell what I mean? So it's also actually, I'd have to call it a velvet satin, but it has some this odd luminosity to it that kind of seems to come from within, that I would consider this very strong UV luminosity. So it still is surprisingly low in pigment. Judging from other reactions demoing this palette, you really have to apply this with your finger on your bare eyelids for it to come up with decent pigment, which is fine for me. But if you watch these reviews and you are into a very bold pigment, you'd be very disappointed in this one, that's for sure. For me, this is perfect. It does not build up to really look like this. So it also is not this undertone that has a lot of green to it, then becomes actually very unimportant, because it kind of gets lost because of this lack of, well, maybe it's not a lack of pigment, because it has a purpose. It's beautiful and soft, so I don't mind it. I would not consider it a lack of, but it still contributes to the fact that the undertone of this one becomes less important, and therefore something like this would turn out not too different on the eyes. Now, only speaking color, as you see, these are very different shades of blue. This has so much more yellow or green to it, and still because this does not go on as intense as it looks in the pan, it will color wise be very comparable to, you know, whatever mid-tone blue you have. The finish, however, does not compare. It has to be a soft, I mean, if you're looking at your collection and you're thinking, do I need this or not? It should just be a mid-tone blue of a similar satin finish. I mean, this now looks wildly different, but when this Charlotte Tilbury formula is very pigmented, but see, when I shear it out, I mean, on the eyes, there will not be too much of a difference anymore. It then is more about the finish, because this shade obviously has a lot of sparkle to it. So, oops. Yeah, the great disappointment for me was that this is not a proper yellow. I think it's a very beautiful palette. It's a soft, elegant palette. This one is quite disappointing. I think I have to watch Daphne's video to see, with her dark complexion, if she is fond of this shade. But I would really want Dior to, when they go for these iridescent ones, to make sure they are not so oddly weak, because you know in the mint bubblegum, the mint shade, the green is much more potent, while its counterparts are so it might have to do with the formula. They are too dry. They need something, they need more in it for them to be more impactful. By the way, this shade actually has more apricot iridescence than this one. This has very pink iridescence, and that's the most annoying thing here. I still really like this palette. I think it's very soft and ethereal for spring, but you know, we all wanted these to be a bit different, right? So, and lastly, yeah, let me also touch on, I have not even swatched this, I don't think so. The center shade. I cannot tell you how many Dior queens I have with a silver in the center. I mean, it's really a brilliant shade, and it's quite neutral, but just visually kind of growing tired of it, right? So here you have that type of sparkle. Oh, that's pretty. All right, to conclude, something I wanted to add. So Dior came out with actually a couple of quins with the clover symbol in them. There was some odd type in between summer release with one that was called Pink Talisman. Now I don't know when and where this was even available, but I mean 2 weeks after official launch, this was nowhere to be found, so that was really odd. Then they released the fall collection available for UK for I don't know, maybe 3 days, when they then took it offline again. So I don't know if that's just, you know, a marketing stunt or something like that. I'm really annoyed with launches that are not synchronized. I think it's frustrating for the customers. And frankly, I personally really lose interest when, you know, when you see it all over the place and you're excited about something, but you know, your eyes even become tired of it, even though you have not even received it yourself. I'll be honest with you. I think the green, what is it called? Green Charm palette for fall is so unique and beautiful, because I really want these lime shades. This light lime green is so beautiful, and I really, really want that one. So yeah, maybe it was a proper mistake. Amelia was lucky enough to receive this and review this in time. So it's already online, and yeah, I'm curious to see if they then will stick to the actual launch. I think it was August 15th. Yeah, I mean, these are just very unfortunate mistakes, or very odd PR stunts, well, not PR, marketing stunts, that I personally find very annoying. I just prefer getting the respect of a transparent organization of these launches, and knowing what's up. Don't waste my time. Don't have me look it up daily because I think it might get launched earlier and things like that. Don't play with our feelings like that. Don't waste our time. I just prefer these things to go down organized and transparent. And yeah, I'm not a fan of these messy Dior launches. However, yeah, I think these are very beautiful collections. I also think the pink talisman was really beautiful. Had I found it, I probably yeah, I actually wanted to purchase that one, but we actually get new quads by Charlie Tilbury, new classic 4-pan luxury quads. These do also have very beautiful looking pink shimmers in there, and in a overall more neutral, more everyday friendly color story. So I think I would prefer those to the pink talisman with the deep red in it. And so that's actually it for today. I hope this was helpful, and thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.